And so we are here to relax together, to just simply be here together. We are the same. We are one simple being. And so we are here to relax together. Just relax and rest in the simplicity that is already here. Satsang just is. Just as you already are, satsang just is. Satsang is already complete and whole. Satsang is not a how-to. It already is. And you already are. We already are. The same one. Just because this body is speaking does not mean a thing. And if you make it mean something, it will just act as a barrier from your deep knowing of our sameness. Make nothing mean anything. Let go of trying, let go of all ideas, and just simply be here. Satsang is a truth party, right? We're here because we love truth. We're here because we're drawn to be together in the celebration of simply being, right? We're here because we have something in common. We love the same thing. It just happens that that which we love is truth, is the self. What we share is a pull into the deepest possible knowing. And so we gather here in celebration of that. We gather here because we love to just be here. It is not a doing to just be. It is the absence of doing that reveals the being that always is. And in the recognition of the being that always is, it is the revealing of the true being that we are, the true one being. Does not matter what is going on in the mind. Does not matter. This being, it's got nothing to do with the mind. The mind is not the way, right? It's not a how-to. It's not a directed journey. It's recognizing that whatever is happening in the mind, whatever is happening in the life, that right here, in the center of all that is coming and going, there is something that doesn't move. There is the most incredible peace. It does not matter how wild and crazy life gets. Right here, in the center, the now, there is peace. There is a simplicity. And here we are the same. Here we are one. Do not be concerned with what the mind is doing. Do not be trying to stop the mind. cannot stop the mind. It does not matter what is happening in the mind. It does not matter what is happening in the life. The peace, the joy, the simple being that you are is that which is never touched, never changed. It is who you have always been. As the body has changed, grown older, as the character has shifted and changed, as the environments have moved and changed, there's something that has remained constant. To just find out what is it that has remained constant. And as these words come, the truth is in the resonance. You hear the resonance, you receive the resonance in the heart. When you receive the resonance, it's like you hear the words inside. They land, they flower. There's a clarity. But it's not coming from a mental understanding. It's coming from a recognition of who you already are. Do not try to make it fancy. Do not try to make it something, because it's not. Right? We want to make it something that fits into the mind's idea. But that is a move away. The simplicity of this true being that you are. It's unbelievable. It's not understandable by the mind, because the mind in its nature makes everything complex. It layers and layers and layers. It's full of ideas and concepts, and it's layering and layering. But the truth is just this, just this, just this. If you notice any attempts to try or to effort, if you notice tension, if you notice any kind of wanting, if you notice any kind of giving meaning, just to be aware of that and smile. What is it that's aware? What is it that is smiling? What is it that is eternally smiling? What is it that has never been touched, never been disturbed? This is the peace that is right in the center. It is the peace that is the now. It is the peace that is the moment. It is the peace that you are, that we are. So as the resonance lands, as you hear these words, and there's a landing in the heart, do not try to grab onto that. Do not try to make it mean anything. Do not go anywhere with it. Just continue to be here. There is such an incredible simplicity to just being here. We're here to relax. We're here to be together. Be together. Be the love. Be the freedom. Be the simplicity. We're not here to make anything happen. It's impossible to make anything happen. There's no one in the world that can give you yourself, because you already are. So let's let go of that concept that someone can give you something, someone can show you something. No, These words are just coming because I'm excited. I'm excited about being. I'm excited about freedom. I'm excited about love. So these words just come. These words just come in celebration. If they're useful, well, isn't that lovely? And if they're not, that doesn't matter, right? I'm not here to give you something. I have nothing to give you, nothing. No promises, no big ideas, nothing, absolutely nothing. So, let go of any ideas that I have something to give you. Let go of any ideas that I am somehow different from you. Let go of any ideas that I am somehow more or above or have achieved something. Let it all go. It will act as a barrier. Let it all go. I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in meeting you in love. I'm interested in meeting you here now. I'm interested in being together. I'm interested in being together in this incredible beauty that we are. I'm not interested in creating more concepts or ideas. I'm not interested in building any kind of teaching. I'm interested in being here together in love, relaxed and free and open. If I do not place anything between us and create separation, and you do not place anything between us and create separation, you will feel the oneness, right? Do not place anything between us. Do not place anything between you and anything, and you will feel the freedom. Just to see how simple thoughts, when believed, they create layers. They place something between me and other, right? Me and that thing. No, just to notice. If anything is placed between you and this moment, you will feel separate and divided from your own wholeness. I'm just wanting to share with you that even if that is happening, you are still whole. It doesn't even matter. But you are going to feel so much better if you are here in your wholeness and not here in the story of not being good enough or full enough or not having got it, right? So we are here to relax together, just to be here. No expectations. If you have expectations of me, you're going to be disappointed because I'm just the same as you. So we have no expectations. We have no expectations of anything, ever, anyone, ever. Because let's face it, we're going to be disappointed. Just to be here with no expectations, no big ideas, no small ideas. Just to be here. Just to be here, just as you are. That this moment wants nothing from you. This moment is full and complete, just like this. So yes, the mind can come in and it can have all sorts of ideas of how this moment is not perfect and right and complete. But that's because the mind is focusing upon the activity and the moving, changing. And it's resisting and it's judging and having opinions about things and happenings and situations. if there are activities going on and identification is with the mental activity, then we will start to live that. We will start to feel the truth in that. We'll start to feel disturbed in that, disappointed in that, anxious in that, upset in that. And it's not to trivialize any of that, because it feels very real and it has a lot of power. And yet it's not true power. True power is this moment. True power is the being, the simple being that is just here and is just relaxed. This is the true power. You already are that power. Before any power is given to the external, before any power is given to stories, before any power is given to beliefs and concepts, before any power is given to worldly desire, you already are pure power. The power is in simply being. The power is in seeing that nothing external actually has any power over you. It has as much power as attention is given. And of course, if there is something sticky that keeps pulling the attention, then we want to feel the feelings, we want to open to it, we want to receive it. We don't want to push it away. We're not speaking about pushing anything away. We're just speaking about holding everything in such a vast, infinite, open space. We're speaking about your wholeness, your yes, your truth being so big, so wide, so huge that it includes everything. We're speaking about your heart being so open, so free, so wide that it includes everything, absolutely everything. That we can hold the wideness, the spaciousness, and include absolutely everything. We are still seeing from the true perspective. We're not identifying with anything, and yet we welcome it all. We welcome it all because wholeness includes everything. Everything that feels upset, tangled, resistant, contracted, it all just wants to relax, right? So, relax. Relax into being and allow everything to relax with you, right? If you are not identified with the tension, if you are relaxed as the wide open spaciousness of being, then you are offering this presence, this openness, this spaciousness, that everything that feels tight and contracted, upset, resistant, disturbed, wanting even, doing even. If you are just being, then everything is getting the cue to just relax. If you are identified with the tension, with the resistance, then There's a nourishing of the tension and the resistance and the story and that cycling, and it amplifies, right? This is what feeds the pain body. It amplifies that which feels stressful. So this is about relaxing where you can relax into being the spaciousness. And so that anything that feels resistant, disturbed, confused, upset, it too can relax into the being held, being loved, being seen, right? And then we are illuminating everything. We are illuminating everything that has the ability to play as a kind of power that pulls the attention, right? The subconscious, the unconscious, right? Sometimes we know it's there, and sometimes we don't know it's there. It has power because we're not aware of it. But when we bring awareness to it, when we bring love to it, when we bring a holding to it, can all surface into a depth of belonging, a depth of holding, where nothing is left out. We have learned to push away what feels uncomfortable. We have learned to push away feelings. But as we come to being and we open to the wholeness that we already are, everything is included. Everything is included. Everything is held in this vast, infinite space. We are invited to hold a wider and wider open spaciousness for everything that we have rejected. Can we have the courage to welcome all that we have rejected? Can we have the courage to truly be here so fully that we can welcome everything equally? If we have an idea about awakening or this unfolding as a means to free us to get away from something, right? There's still division. Cannot get away from anything. Can only welcome the wholeness of this moment as this moment. And in the welcoming of this moment as this moment, you feel you are the openness, you are the spaciousness, you are the love, you are the oneness, the sameness with it all, where there is no resistance. So we illuminate resistance. We cannot change with the mind, the resistance, but we can welcome it. We welcome it as the being. When we welcome it as the being into openness, there's no defense, resistance no more, right? Resistance, defense, protection, it's separation. When everything is welcomed into openness, when everything is invited to relax, there can be no defense, there can be no argument with that, right? All of the barriers just immediately come down. And here you are. You're not trying to fight with your mind. You're not goal orientated about your spiritual ambition to awaken. It's all gone, right? You've taken away everything. You're just here. And when you're just here, you are free. You are not resisting anything, when you are not wanting anything. When you are just here, you are free. Just to feel that freedom in this moment. Not to make it mean anything, not to try to carry it into time. To just recognize the timeless nature of who you are in this moment is freedom, is peace. That you have healed, we're not waiting till you have achieved this, we're not waiting for anything. We're recognizing that is just another strategy of the mind, that you already are perfection, you already are wholeness. It does not mean that in the play that there's a deepening and refinement and, let's say, true healing and transformation is happening. But your wholeness is already whole. It's not dependent upon anything. Your wholeness is already whole. It is not dependent upon anything. And in this moment, you can feel inside the truth of that. Can feel it in the being. Can feel that there is a peace. There is a simplicity that is always here. Right in the center of life. Whatever's happening in the mind doesn't matter. There is a peace here. There is a simplicity here that never ever changes. You do not need any strategies to be this. You are this. You cannot collaborate with strategies and ideas. You can only keep pointing lovingly to what is always here, to what has never gone anywhere, and to what never ever ever changes, to who you have always been, to what you have always been, where you are the one with no other, where you are the simplicity, the wide open heart, where we are the same, where all beings are the same. It is the stillness, it is the silence, it is the constant peace that never ever is disturbed or changed. And everything that is moving and changing, let's say in your world, everything that's flying around, it's flying around looking for this. It's looking to anchor and root and ground here in the peace, right? Through a mental perspective, it thinks that it's looking to root and ground in things and relationships and jobs and money and experiences, right? It thinks that it's looking to ground somewhere in objects, but it's not. Everything that's flying around is looking for this peace, is looking for the self, looking for being. And so be the being that you already are. Be the anchor. Be the docked heart, one with the divine heart. Know your divine nature, and everything that's flying around as the unconscious is trying to surface, it can be magnetized and dock into this peace, this ground, right? It's not a ground that is somewhere. It's not a location in time. It's the ground of being, the deep ground of being. It is the silence, the stillness, the peace that always is. Cannot give it meaning, cannot carry it into time, cannot take it into the future, and yet it is always here. It's never not here, never not here. We do not need fancy language. We do not need anything, because this is not about language. This is about who you already are, what you have always been. It is about the simplicity, the openness that is the heart. We're not waiting for the mind to stop. We're not waiting for anything to happen. You can glimpse, you can taste this truth. It is divine timing, how deeply the landing is. No one can give this to us. Can speak about readiness, maturity, ripeness, but we cannot even make any of that happen. None of it is a doing. It is all a divine unfolding. Every moment is this moment, and every moment is utter perfection, and every moment is alive with the pure potentiality and wide open with infinite possibility. The invitation is to flow with nature, be one with nature, be one with nature, be one with true nature, right? Be one with divine nature, we could say. Be the one being. We are just invited to see all of the ways that we resist the flow of life. If we stop resisting life and we start flowing with life, there's a smoothness, there's an ease, right? We're not fighting with it. We're just flowing with it. And whenever we meet a resistance, we recognize here's protection, here's defense, here's something trying to surface from the unconscious. Can we let it surface? Can we welcome it into the flow? Jump in, come in, right? The water is warm. Jump in, make a big splash when you do, and let's flow in alignment with nature as nature, right? What is nature? Nature, true nature, essence nature, divine nature. Divine Mother is pure nature, right? We can have so many ways of expressing this, and different ways will resonate. It will come alive inside you. Different words, different resonances. It will come alive inside you, but it's all the same, right? We want to come into alignment with truth, into alignment with true nature, into alignment with the flow of life living itself. We want to come into harmony and balance, right? We could say, the mind could say, oh, well, isn't that what I want? Isn't that what I'm going for? Isn't that what I'm striving for every day? Kind of, and not really, right? Yes, of course, everything that's flying around, it is striving for, it is longing for harmony, for balance, for true nature. And yet the learned habit is to try to find that in the external, in the world, to try to dock in people, in relationships, in things, right? Experiences, in concepts, in ideas, in beliefs. But only when the longing of every single fiber of your being lands in alignment with nature, with being, the true nature, do you feel the smoothness and freedom. The beauty is that this is the natural ripening. This is the natural readying. And in perfect timing, we are carried deeper. In perfect timing, we are taken deeper. The truth is that this moment can only be the way it is. Life is always changing. We go through all of these unravelings and phases of life. It's supposed to be fun, right? Doesn't always feel like fun. But this journey of life, it's a mystery and it's a miracle. You are the mystery and you are the miracle of life. And everything is conspiring for us to know that and to flow with it as it. So as these words come, it's just to notice what rings loud and clear inside. What are you hearing with the heart? What happens when the resonance lands and the heart rings with clarity? Do you feel an aliveness? Do you feel a yes? Right? Do you feel it in every atom of your being? Is that feeling that you are aware of? Is it inside the body? Is it outside the body? Does it belong to anybody? And what really happens when you feel the resonance? Because we want to really attune with the resonance. We want to really attune with what happens. What is an aha? What is a deep landing dock in the heart feeling? What happens? Right? Let's fall into the mystery. Let's get closer and deeper in. What happens when you hear these words inside you? When you hear these words inside the being that you are? You know this truth, and yet you don't know anything, right? You're right between knowing and not knowing. But the resonance is a depth of knowing which is pure knowledge, right? You come alive because there's a recognizing somewhere. Sometimes this aliveness of recognizing, we push it away because it feels almost too alive, too sparkly. Don't want to be distracted by that. Get back to the seriousness that I'm in satsang to awaken to my true nature. No, you're not. You're not. You're in satsang to relax, to let go of all of those myths. You're in satsang to relax and just be, to just be here. Just to be here. You're not here to let the mind win. You're here to see that who you are is who you are, whatever the mind is doing, whatever dance, whatever the mind is throwing up. That you are here as the being, and you never, ever have not been this being. Surrender the seeker, right? The seeker wants to seek. The seeker wants to be a seeker because it has become addicted to being a seeker, and it satisfies the mind's idea of never ever getting what it wants, right? It satisfies the human condition of never ever being enough. Oh, you can keep seeking, but you are never gonna get it. Nope, not you, because you're not enough. You're not enough. No, you're missing out. You're missing the point. You can't follow the instructions. You can't be awareness. So you are not ever gonna get it, right? So you might as well forget it. Or maybe you should just try a whole lot harder, right? Maybe you should start, lashing yourself and trying a lot harder. The mind has all of these ideas, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's about seeing that you are not the seeker. You are not that one. You are not the mind. That the being is always here, regardless of any of that is going on. Right? The presence, the being, the simplicity is always, always the same, is always, always untouched. Can you feel where the resonance of recognition of the peace that is here, regardless of what is happening in the moving, changing play on the surface of life? The ground is the ground of being. The only ground you need, the stability, the constancy of being. The ground of being is ever stable, ever still, ever true, ever free. You cannot even explain in any way that this is who you are. So it's not about the mind getting, well, how do I know that's what I am? You don't come to know conceptually this is who you are. It just reveals itself because it is who you are in truth. It just reveals itself. It reveals itself in this resonance, this aliveness that we're speaking of. When you feel the aliveness of the resonance, where you feel the recognition, the knowing, the pure knowledge, where you feel these words alive inside you. Here, here. This is the ground of being. It's not in time. It's not in a location. It's now. It's always now. The landing here is always now. The timeless being, the eternal being. This is the truth, and this is always here. This is satsang. It is the appearance of gathering. And as we gather, we meet in the heart of being. We meet in the ground of being, in the stillness, the great relaxation, where nothing is asked of you, nothing is expected of you. It is just to be here, just as you are. It's not about being worthy or lovable or having achieved or earned. It's about a depth of goodness and perfection, a wholeness that has never ever been broken, never ever been broken. Everything that feels to have been broken is just wanting to return to this remembering of wholeness, right? So this wide open space is the wide open space where everything can surface, where everything is welcome. And the more you open to this knowing of the being that you are, everything will surface. Everything will surface. Everything will come home. Every single fiber of you will come home. So we welcome it all with gratitude and love, right? Everything is welcome in the heart of being. Everything is welcome in the heart of love. The infinite wide open space. Yes, we don't identify with story, but we don't trivialize it either, right? There's wisdom even in story, right? We allow the wisdom to surface. We allow the wisdom of the story to surface. We're holding such a wide open space as the being. We honor the wisdom, but we do not identify, because to identify just amplifies and feeds the pain body, whereas that which is in pain wants to be free of pain. It wants to come to love, right? So we don't identify so that we can hold the vast open space of love, so that we can, as the wide open being, welcome everything into the vast openness, can be the light, can be the light that is illuminating everything that feels to be in shadow and darkness, can illuminate everything so that it can all surface, be received and dock in the heart of God, right? So that every single fiber of what you are can know that it is not separate. Every single fiber of what you are can know its wholeness. And when every single fiber of what you are knows its wholeness, you are living that wholeness on the surface of life, right? You're not transcending to find wholeness. You're living as wholeness, because there are no parts of you, there are no parts of you that are not welcome, right? There are no parts of you that are hiding. So every single part that has been hidden is welcome here now. All of you, just as you are, right? We all have these unique unfoldings, but each unique unfolding is working as a flow of oneness, right? It is the flow of life. It is one life living itself, appearing as many lives living, but it's one life. And in this one precious life, this one precious human life, we live our uniqueness as fully as possible. We live our uniqueness as fully as possible, knowing the wholeness that we are. Right? This is our service. It is to sing the song of our uniqueness. It is not to try to, it's not to try to merge. We don't want to lose our uniqueness, right? Our uniqueness is the divine expressing as human, as true free human, right? We're not here to try to lose our uniqueness and become like a zombie, right? We're here to fall into the deep knowing of the true being, into the knowing of wholeness, into the knowing of who you are in truth, and to live that uniquely, live that divine nature uniquely on the surface of life, as life living itself. We're not here to exit life, right? When we speak about, moving away from worldly desires and not getting pulled into the story, the mind can create ideas, and as we open and deepen, we can feel like we have to give everything up. But that isn't what this is about. This is about living fully as freedom, living fully as wholeness, fully engaging. It's not about letting mental ideas of what a spiritual life looks like to take over. Some of us in our uniqueness will live in a more monastic way. Some of us will live in a very, active and engaged way. It doesn't matter. It's not about, is this better? Is this better? Should it be like this? Is it okay to do this? It doesn't matter. It's about listening to your own heart song and letting it sing through you. And nobody else knows what that is. Only you know that truth, right? And that is why it is so important in all of this unfolding that you never ever lose touch with the autonomy, the knowing of your heart, the truth of your heart, that you do not give that away to anything external, even anything external that appears as something spiritual, that seems, if anything wants your power, if anything wants to make decisions or tell you how it is, be very, very careful in these kind of territories. Trust only the deep knowing inside you. Because the deep knowing inside you, it brings you into alignment with nature, right? Listen to what is inside you, right? So as these words come, don't believe them. Don't make a gospel out of them. Use them only to bring forward the resonance of where you feel the aliveness inside you, where you feel your heart singing in the receiving of these words. You're receiving the transmission where you feel that aliveness. You recognize truth, right? So much a part of this unfolding is coming to learn to recognize your own knowing inside and your own true heart. Because we learned to give that away, right, when we were young. We learned to give it away. And it's very comfortable to try to find alternative parents, right? Right? We learned to give it to parents. We learned to give it to, then, depending on our conditioning and our particular flavor and themes for this life, we give that kind of authority to different kind of, in school, to teachers, right? To bosses in jobs, to different kinds of teachers. We learn that we want to give that. We want to find a parent. We want to find an authority because it's comfortable. It's comfortable because we're so afraid of knowing who we truly are. We're so afraid, in truth, of trusting, because we have this surface layer that says, I'm not enough, I can't possibly know, I can't possibly trust myself, right? I've made all these mistakes, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I can't trust myself. So if I give that power, that authority to someone that I think I can trust, but the one you think you can trust, the only reason you think that is because it's bringing something alive inside you, and it's asking you to trust that which is alive inside you. It's not asking you to make a projection of your authority and your power outside of yourself. If you recognize it, it's inviting you to feel when you feel a yes, when you feel alignment. And if something outside of you is asking for to hand your authority over or your power over, then be very wary of that. It's probably a trap. And if you get trapped at some point, you will find your way out of it. We all do. We've all been trapped, right? We've all given power to the external. But this journey, this unfolding is about, so we're speaking of coming into alignment with nature, flowing with nature as nature. We can only flow in alignment with nature, in our true nature, when all power imbalances are brought into harmony. Separation is an imbalance, right? So we're speaking of recognizing, where are there imbalances? Where are you giving power to the external? Where are there imbalances? Where are there flows of separation? Can you illuminate those flows and bring them into balance? Can you come to trust the truth of the inner voice of your own heart? Because the inner voice of your own heart is the one heart, right? It's the divine. It's the divine inside you that knows what is true and right for you, for your uniqueness, right? No one ever knows that for you. Never, ever knows that for you. Even if someone can read your mind, even if someone can feel your feelings, even if someone can, reflect you to yourself, they do not know what is right for you more than you know what is right for you. And if something feels off, it probably is, right? You have to come to trust. So much of this unfolding is about coming to trust the truth of your own heart, realizing and recognizing the truth of your own heart, recognizing your own goodness, recognizing your own wholeness, recognizing your completeness, and that you're fully equipped. You're fully equipped to fall into your God nature. No one can do that for you. There is no God outside of you that you have to give yourself to. Never, never. You are fully equipped. You are fully equipped to know your goodness, to overcome all of the stories of inadequacy and not enoughness. You are fully equipped, right? But as we unravel and unfold into a deeper alignment with nature, we will meet all of the places that are conditioned. And there is, let's say, a felt sense of our own unique themes of this lifetime and our unique ways of being conditioned. But they are intricately entangled in the oneness of the collective condition. And the collective condition is one of imbalance at the moment, right? So, as we unravel what seems like our own assignment, our own package to rebalance, that as we rebalance it, it ripples out to the whole. When we fall deeper into the relaxation, the truth, the being, right, wherever there's alignment and clarity, that clarity is like a bell that just chimes and ripples out into wholeness, right, into the collective. It's shifting the collective. So this is where we speak of that our unraveling, our uniqueness, listening and following our unique unfolding is the greatest service, right? It's not about making mental decisions. It's not about mapping it out with your mind. It's about feeling the alignment inside. And you know, the alignment inside, it will take you into traps. It will take you into traps to teach you to listen more deeply, right? It will take you into situations. The greatest knowing that we come to is the knowing of the self. And the knowing of the self is the Sat Guru, right? It is pure knowledge. It is where there is only one knowing itself. And everything is conspiring to bring us to this depth of knowledge that is an autonomy in the self, where the pure power is a complete alignment, a complete balance and harmony with nature, with divine nature. It is a complete balance where life is living itself. And when life is living itself, everything in the field that is out of balance comes forward, magnetized, drawn to the light of balance, the light of harmony. We're not speaking of a light that is like an ascended or higher than. We're speaking of something that is just what the divine, right? The divine is not an ascended or better than or bigger or higher. That's concept. The divine is all there is. True divine nature is all there is. And everything is conspiring to bring us to know this truth in our own heart, right? In our own heart, to know the one heart, to be completely docked in the divine heart of God, of the Mother, and to be living this freedom through your uniqueness as a free human being, a completely free human being, right? You're not looking to anyone to tell you, is this okay? Is that okay? You're living, you're flowering your life that's blossoming and flowering in every moment, your uniqueness, right? So then the moving, changing is this flow of life, this flow of life. And if you bump into some kind of resistance, alleluia, here's a possibility to bring this baby home, right? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome into the heart of being, right? You welcome everything. It's so tender. It's so innocent. It's so pure, right? But it's who you are. It's inside you. And when you fall into this that is inside you, it is a vast, timeless, infinite landscape. And it's inside you, right? It's just like your own Narnia, right? You go, instead of going through the back of the wardrobe, you go into the being. You go into the being and you open to this vast, infinite landscape. So, as these words come and you feel a resonance inside, it's not about it landing in the mind where it makes sense. It's about landing and falling into the mystery, feeling a feeling of, whoa, I'm falling down the rabbit hole. Right? You start to notice how all these stories that we read as children, they were speaking of the mystery. They were speaking of the magic of true nature in the way that we could receive it. But didn't we connect to that wonder? Didn't we connect to the awe, to the mystery? Didn't we connect to wanting to be the hero or heroine of that story that fell down the rabbit hole, that went through the back of the wardrobe, and so on, right? Because that is our destiny, let's say, in our human life. It is to fall down and down and down and down into the depths of the mystery. And so where you feel like you have swallowed the pill of truth and you are spinning in this aliveness and this mystery that makes no sense to the mind, and you feel like you are free falling, and you feel like you are everywhere and nowhere, and who am I now? What am I now? Am I big? Am I small? Cannot tell. Am I in the body? Am I out of the body? Am I light? Am I dark? What am I? Cannot tell. And yet you can tell. Here now, here now. All you know is here now, here now, here now, here now. When you feel the resonance, when you feel the aliveness, fall in to yourself, into the mystery, into the wonder, into the awe, which makes no sense to the mind. And yet here you are. Hear the beauty, hear the simplicity, hear the innocence, hear the wonder, hear the purity, hear the divine, hear God, hear the Mother, hear love, hear peace, hear where all of those words are singing a resonance of truth, right? They're not concepts. Hear the silent song of truth. And it's resonating inside you. And you can recognize this, can recognize it in your own unique way. Trust it. My greatest invitation is to trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust the power and beauty of who you are in your wholeness. Trust that this knowing is inside you. This divinity is inside you. And the great invitation is to trust trust this being, this mystery, this silence, this peace, and that this is not dependent upon achieving anything. It's not a goal. It's who you are in this moment and who you have always been. You are simplicity, presence, love, divine. It is to align with nature, flow as life. Feel what feels good in your heart, where it makes no sense to the mind. Feel what feels good in your heart and fall more into that. Let that be the guide, the compass. If it doesn't feel good in the heart, step away from it. Even if your mind says, oh, but it's this and it's that, even if the mind has all the ways of qualifying, right? Come to learn to trust the inner compass of your true nature that knows, the heart that knows, and move into and towards that knowing, and let that knowing pull you away from what isn't a full yes. Until we can land so deeply in the knowledge of the self that cannot be disturbed or questioned by anything. We will be refined and refined and refined. And that is the grace of life. That is the grace, is that love, divine love will keep coming back for absolutely everything, everything. Honestly, even when we feel like wholeness is here, here's another trap. Taking us deeper, taking us deeper, taking us deeper. Humbling, right? Humbling us again and again and again. To never rest anywhere. To have, let's say, the ground of being, it's like no ground, right? No strategies, nothing. You're not playing out moods. You're not even that, right? Not even that. Not even anything. Not even that. Not even knowing, not even not knowing. Not even being, not even not being. Not even timeless, not even eternal, right? Not even here, not even now, right? Not even that, not even that. All pointers, but not even that. Right? Fall deeply enough in, not even that. Not the humble one, not the righteous one, not the awake one, not even that. Not the one that's so open and free, not even that, right? Not even that. Be so free that you are so human. Be so free to be so human. The great journey into true humanness, right? Doesn't the mind love the spiritual ambition of ascension and becoming God? But what if God is utter humanness? What if God is utter humanness in all of its flavors, in all of its nuances? What if God is all of this? What if God is the good, the bad, the ugly, the pain, the joy? What if God is all of it equally? And that we have to go right out in order to come all the way back in. And then we discover that the great revelation was about becoming human, truly human. And that's our most divine life. To live as an embodied human. Right? What if this is what it's all about? And the human life, with all of its tricks and traps and foibles. Is it? Is it? What if this is it? It is it, right? You, here now, your life, just as it is. The good bits, the bad bits, the challenging bits, the bits you love, the bits that you resist, the bits you want to change, all of it, all God, right? You, as you already are. Nothing to change, nothing to change. It is just to be so relaxed that you're not resisting anything. And as you stop resisting, you're aligning with nature. You're aligning with true nature. You're aligning with life. You're flowing with life. You're flowing as life. Wasn't there a song that said, what if God was one of us? What if God is all of us? What if God is all of us and not one of us? What if God is all of us? Exactly as we are. Exactly as we are. Undone of the human condition, undone, unraveled, and yet being this free human, this free human, the whole human, the whole human, the divine expression. There's no mistake. We are not supposed to leave our humanness. We go inside. We find the divine nature. We align, we refine. And the more we refine, the more we align. The more of that is lived on the surface. We do not change, and yet everything changes. We are the changeless essence in truth. And the deeper that we fall into this, the surface of life changes to reflect where we are living and what we are assigned to live out, live through. Right? Sometimes it will be from this lifetime. Sometimes it will be collective karmic energy. We cannot ever make sense of why life plays the way it does. But when we are living in alignment with life and not resisting, we are refining and deepening, aligning, falling in and in and in. And so what if God is all of us, just as we are, here now?